Hey guys, subscribe for daily content. And if you're shopping for gear, make sure you check out the description for the newest items at some of the very best online retailers. There's also links for some of the items that I personally recommend. Thanks! What's going on YouTube? Metal Complex here, and welcome to the 200th episode of The Knife Guy. So it's probably going to be some oh, thank you so much for all the support over the years. Seriously, thank you. But, I thought about it, and I was like, what do I want to do for the 200th episode? And I was like, I don't want to do anything corny like that. I legitimately want to talk about something. I want to do what I normally do, which is rant about something it's not always about something that bothers me. Sometimes it's just, thoughts that I have of the week. But I'm going to do what I have done on some episodes, which is rant about something that I think is an actual problem. Something that I'm still sad to see is a problem. I want to bring awareness to this for new people, because there's always new people, right? The total population of this channel a year ago is very different now, right? So this is something that I like to talk about every now and then. Thanks so much to my patrons for supporting me. And please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. Something that I unfortunately see all the time, and people try to tell me, they're like, this isn't as big of a deal as you meant. I don't see that it's not that crazy. Metal Complex blows out of proportion. I get, like, on the low end, I'm not trying to flex, about 250,000 views a day. So you could imagine how many comments I get, right? And that's just here on YouTube. Believe it or not, I actually look through most of them. So I see what people are saying across, over, it's 3,100, 3,200 videos now, right? So I have eyes on all of this just here on YouTube. Then my Instagram is a whole nother thing, where I can see, once again, the comments and the stuff people talk about. On top of that, I'm getting emails and DMs from people all the time. I would say that I interact with anywhere from 50 to, I don't know, maybe 150 people a day, at least in the form of just reading a comment, right? So I really do have a windows washer perspective on this type of thing. And that the topic for today's discussion is gatekeeping, and it absolutely drives me insane. Every single one of us was new once. Every single one of us. You are not special because you clicked request to join on a Facebook group, right? That does not mean that everybody else who is seeking the same knife is no longer as important as you. For some reason, this is a mentality that people get. Listen, if you know that something is going to drop, something that a lot of people want, it is not your responsibility to go and tell everybody. That's fine, right? But, oh man, let me tell you, nothing burns me more than when people message me and they go, hey, don't tell anybody, but, don't tell anyone, but this is gonna, that's so annoying. Why? Why is it that you deserve to know and no one else, right? Well, because I've been here for a bit. Like, I'm not new. I'm not a new guy just wandering in. Like, I'm initiated, right? That's not what people are saying, but that's the mentality that takes over them. There's a lot of this. People feel like they're special because, and then they're not really able to put their finger on it, or once they're able to, they don't want to say it out loud, right? What a lot of people truly believe is because I've been here for a while, because I'm not a new person, because I'm not a casual, right? I am more important than anybody else seeking the same thing, which is absolute nonsense. Absolute nonsense. Coming into this knife community, before I started the channel, I can't tell you how many absolutely ridiculous, cringe-worthy groups there were on different social media platforms. Reddit and Blade forums are absolutely, like, there are groups there that just consider themselves completely and totally more elite than everyone else, right? Be it a mindset that is associated with just being a person who carries a knife for a while, right? Like,
I'm a person who's respected the blade. I respect the blade. I've been respecting the blade for 10 years. You think you can just walk in here and carry a pocket knife and understand? You think you know how to appreciate it the way I appreciate it? Shut up! Shut up! If that's how you think. Shut your big dumb face. That is absolutely stupid. That is so stupid. We are all just people who like to carry pocket knives. That's it, right? That's it. You carry a pocket knife for 10 years, you're no different than the guy who just started carrying a knife a week ago, right? You're just a guy who carries, you're just a person, guy, gal, whatever, whoever, I don't care. You're just a person who carries a pocket knife, right? That's it. You're not some kind of elite, right? You didn't get initiated with you didn't like go into the basement of a castle where there's a bunch of people in hoods standing around in a circle and there's some sort of archaic design on the floor and there's a bunch of candlesticks and there's an ancient tome and like the guy with the different color robe comes up and and he pushes on the book and a bunch of green light comes out around your feet and it's like you've been initiated. You're special. No, that didn't happen. That's not the case, right? I'm not gonna this is partially related. I'm not gonna reveal who this was because this was actually something I read. This was sent to me in a private DM, but it was a conversation between a gentleman and his past group of gentlemen. This group was, let's say this, they take themselves very seriously. They have adopted a very specific persona. They have granted themselves titles. This is literally a group of like 5 people. They had granted themselves titles. They had specific beliefs, what it means to be a person with a lot of self-respect. And I don't even. I mean, if you're cringing right now, you should have seen the. But they had decided that this person was no longer welcome in the group because he was not. It's a lot like joining a roleplay server on World of Warcraft and then you get caught not acting the part. Like that's about what it was. And I was like, oh God, I forget these groups of people exist. If you want to do that, if you want to do that in your own, that's how you enjoy the hobby, then that's fine. But as soon as you start like taking dumps on other people because you're not appreciating the art as it should be. Yes, you have been given a gift, and you must appreciate that gift the way that we see fit. If you cannot appreciate this gift of knifehood the way it is meant to be, then you, sir, are expelled. You are expelled from Knife Hogwarts. That is ludicrous. That is ludicrous behavior. You want to do it? You want to have like little clubs and things? That's fine, but like be welcoming and open to other people, right? The gatekeeper attitude, as if like once you discover it, you're better than anyone who has not discovered it, right? Here, let me make a whole bunch of people mad all at once. Hey, new people, are you wondering how to get your hands on Demco knives and Hinderer knives? Guess what? There are collectors groups on Facebook. All you have to do is go and request to join. You literally don't have to be special. People will pretend like you have to be special. Nope, you can just get on your phone, go to the Hinderer Knives users and collectors group on Facebook and click request to join. Guess what? They're not going to scan you for magical presence. They're not going to be like, is he righteous? Yes, he is. We know that Todd Bentley is righteous and worthy of it. No, they're just going to go, yeah, sure, no problem, man. And guess what? They give you a little bit of a heads up when things are going to drop here or there. And people get mad at me. They say, don't tell people. Gosh darn it, Metal Complex. He told a bunch of people and now everybody's going to know. And now well, it makes it harder for me if I so choose to. I'm not even actually thinking about whether or not I'm concerned with this drop. But by golly, I'll complain because I was already part of the group and now there's new people. Right? You deserve to enter, but anybody new doesn't? No. Yeah. If you're looking for Hinderer Knives and Demco Knives and you want a little bit of a heads up, they have Facebook collectors groups. They will literally accept anybody. Go join.
right? I don't care what anybody thinks. When people tell me not to tell people, I will absolutely use the nuclear megaphone that is this channel and tell everyone. I will definitely do that. It is my joy to have that ability, to be able to post this stuff in the community tab. I got so upset when these things dropped. These are awesome. The CKF Eagle Rock by Terzola. These are so cool, right? They dropped. And the S110V versions went real quick, right? But they still had the S90V variants. I thought this one was cooler. And they had the red carbon fiber versions carbon fiber versions available as well. In fact, they might still be available. But when I mentioned that these were available, there was somebody who was like, I hate it when he does this. Now that's going to be so... Because that person wasn't ready to buy it. That person was still budgeting. And they felt I had personally attacked them because I was telling everyone and it was going to make it harder for them to acquire it. That is the most... And I called them out on it. Some people get mad at me. They're like, you're so mean. No, I'm going to call... Listen, if you've ever thought that, let me give you a fact. I will absolutely call people out on that behavior. I'm going to do it. There is nothing that anybody can do. That's terrible behavior. I shouldn't tell people. I shouldn't share this information. I shouldn't... A lot of people are going to say, yeah, you know, big words coming from somebody who's got all this rare stuff all over the table. You look back in my community tab, I have told everybody about every single one of these things, every chance that I get. As soon as I know exactly when something is going to be available, if it's something that people want, I share it, right? So don't give me that. But I will call this behavior out, this selfish behavior. You don't care about the community when you're saying that. You care about yourself. You only care until you have it, right? Once you have it, you don't care what anybody does. That's terrible. That's gatekeeping behavior. Everybody was new once. Something that really bothers me online, I used to laugh at this stuff, and I started to realize, I was like, this is terrible. It's terrible I'm laughing at this. It's a lot like those videos that you watch where people they're clearly like in the gym for the first time, right? A lot of times it's people who are... It's not younger, right? I mean, it'd be stupid to laugh at like a 12-year-old kid in the gym, like, oh, he doesn't know what he's doing. Well, yeah, he's 12, right? But a lot of times these videos that you see online are people like doing workouts incorrectly, and they're adults. And people put together compilations. It's like, gym fail cringe. I used to watch those and be like, and it's funny. And I realized it's really, it's pretty crappy of me to laugh, because these people clearly got to a point in their life where they want to better themselves, or at least attempt to, right? Not everybody stays in there. They want to, and they don't know what they're doing because nobody's ever said anything, right? So instead, what people do, instead of going over and offering, you should offer. You should say, you know, you shouldn't go over and be like, hey, beta male, you're doing that dumb. Let me show you how it's done. Like, don't do that, obviously, but you should ask people, would it be okay if I showed you, you know, or do you want help, right? And if they say no, then leave them alone, all right? Some people they just want to figure things out for themselves. But it's terrible behavior. People who were definitely new once, filming them just so that they can be the ones that it's like, ha ha, they're doing it wrong. I clearly know how to do it right, but look at this person doing it wrong. As if you didn't know, as if there was a time in your life where you, as if there wasn't a time in your life where you didn't know how to do it. Like you just popped out when you were born, like, I already know how to do all this. No, somebody had to tell you, right? It doesn't matter if it's early in life or late in life. Somebody had to tell you. It's the same thing with discovering a lot of this stuff that's really popular. There are phases that we go through as people who are interested in pocket knives or any enthusiast community. It's, you know, it starts off with, that's kind of neat. I do kind of like this. All right. Oh boy, these things get kind of expensive. Why would people pay that much? Oh, okay, I kind of understand now, but I'm not going to do it. Well, I would consider if, they have it. Okay, I'll go for it. How are people getting this? Where did this come from? I didn't even know this edition existed. Oh, I see. There's this. Oh, I see. People are trying to keep it a secret. Right? Everybody goes through that. And it's like, as soon as you know, you take on this, like,
You like crown yourself. I am now a secret keeper, yes, of course. I've joined the elite, and it is now my responsibility, amidst my brothers, to keep the secret, because we are, of course, better than everyone. No! That's stupid. That's terrible behavior. Bad. It's awful, right? I'm preaching, but I've done that too. I remember, like, I don't want other people to get a hold of this. People tell me, they're like, but here's the reason we get upset. It's because a ton of people come in, a lot of people, and they buy them and then they flip them, right? Let me tell you something. Let's talk about Hinderer Knives, right? Let's say the people who didn't flip them weren't there. There would still be tons and tons and tons. There would be so many people buying them just to have them, right? They would still go super quickly. The amount of people, the percentage of people who are buying them and then flipping them is nowhere near the number of people who are just buying them to have them or, eventually like trade them, in the Hinderers group. There's way, way more of those people. The more people who buy them, right? The idea is that Hinderer Knives will expand and the production will increase, which it absolutely has. That's something to point out. Hinderer Knives production capacity has absolutely increased. Tenfold is way more than tenfold, right? The proof is the number of batches that drop at the number of retailers, the number of knives within batches, and how long those batches last, right? It's like, listen, you're not owed convenient availability, right? And it is not the few people who are buying these things up and flipping them. It is not absolutely 100% their fault that you're not getting them, right? And it's not your responsibility to gatekeep this so that other people can't get them. No. These are, a lot of times people use this as an excuse. People like to think they're a part of some kind of elite club, right? Listen, if you're new, these weird little groups of people that think they're like more important than everybody, they exist, but do they represent the majority? Absolutely not. They pretend that they do, but they don't. These are just silly little groups that you're going to find on various forums, and it's like I said, you're going to find them on Facebook, you're going to find them on Reddit, you're going to find them on Blade forums, you're going to find them on Instagram, right? You're going to find these weird, silly little clubs. A lot of times these are fringe groups, right? They're not like they don't represent the vast majority of the community. Most people are going to want to tell you, right? As somebody who loves Hinderer Knives and is actively seeking more, I've said this many times, Hinderer will not do me favors. The individual retailers will also not do me favors to get Hinderer Knives. And honestly, I wouldn't know. I've never asked, and that's the truth. I have been granted opportunities to get some things periodically, a little bit sooner. But even if that's the case, I always try to let people know. As somebody who is actively seeking more Hinderer Knives, I can tell you, even knowing that it's going to decrease my odds of getting something, I will still tell people. I will still let people know when I have an opportunity, right? This is taking place. And sometimes I miss them. Many, many times. For all of the knives that I have been successful in acquiring, many times I have missed this stuff. Oh, woe is me, right? I don't have much to complain about because I still do. There's always something else, right? I'm living proof of that. There's always something else. Yes, more people being aware of something does make it harder to get in some circumstances. But something that anybody who has been successful in acquiring this stuff will tell you is that it is much more about being in the right place at the right time and knowing where that place is, right? So being actively a part of these groups. I'm not saying that these like collectors groups like the Hinderer Collectors group on Facebook or the Demco group, I'm not saying that those are bad groups. No, they're good because they tell people who are specifically interested, hey, this is where they're going to be, right? I'm saying the people who gatekeep those communities are idiots, right? You got in, so now you're a guard? You goon! You absolute goon! No, I will take the power away from those people. Actively. I will absolutely take that away. No. Everybody deserves to know what these are, why they're popular, and when they're dropping. And anytime I have an opportunity to do that, I'm going to put it on the community tab. I'm going to tell you guys, I'm going to start posting drop times and locations with comments actively telling me not to do it.
I'm going to start posting the comments of people going, don't tell people, don't tell people. What? Because, I mean, like, these people deserve to be laughed at. Like, get out. Who are you? Why are you blocking this, right? That's something that I hated seeing, like, going through this. I hated it, right? It's not the biggest deal in the world. More people paying attention to something does make it a little bit harder to get, right? But if you know it's going to drop, if you've budgeted correctly for it, it's not up to the rest of the community to back off and wait until you're ready to buy something, right? No, I disagree with that. If you know when it's going to drop, where it's going to drop, which again, just like I said, you know, these groups exist that will tell you, you know, where, or you can watch my community tab. I'll definitely tell you, right? If you're not ready to buy it then, don't worry. It'll drop again. And if it's a super special, super unique rare and it's the, I gotta have, and you miss it, guess what? There's gonna be another super special, ultra unique, rare, one of a kind, blah, blah, blah in the future that you'll like just as much, if not more. It's not the end of the world. The gatekeeper mentality is ridiculous. And I mean, at this point, I take massive joy and pride in shattering that by posting things. So just know that. I know, and some people, if you've ever messaged me and said, hey, this is dropping, I'm just letting you know. Don't get it mixed up. I appreciate that. That's great. I love that. But when I see people commenting, don't tell people about this. Don't tell people. Only the elite should know. That's not what they're saying. That's what they're suggesting. Only certain people should know, and these people should. Why? Why? Explain that. The mentality is, and they won't say it, well, because I've grown to appreciate these things in a way that new people just don't understand. The potential appreciation for the object is, you know, actually met when someone like me acquires it versus a new person who doesn't understand, yes, the majesty of the item. Like, shut up. I can't stand that. Absolutely can't stand it. Drives me nuts. Nope. I'm going to tell people. I'm going to make sure everybody knows. And the idea there is when more people know, new people come into the community, it increases the population, increases the buying population, right? The entire economy of the knife world, right? We get companies that maybe have a limited output capacity. If we get more revenue pumped into those companies, maybe they increase their output capacity, just like Hinderer Knives did, right? People complain about Demco knives. We want them to grow. We want their capacity to grow. Do you understand that? We want them to grow so they can make more, right? If you're here now, you're probably still going to be interested in knives in 3 years or 4 years or 5 years, right? You want that. We want people to be involved, right? There are downsides to this, higher populations and more attention on certain things. I'm not trying to say there's not downsides to it, but ultimately in the long run, it's better. And you got to ask yourself, do you really want to be that person who's standing in the way just because you just found out about it? Now you're going to turn around and pretend like you're the keeper of the secrets and you can't let other people know? Don't do that. Don't. We've all experienced what that feels like, to be left out. I definitely, growing up, I've definitely felt like that, right? You don't want to, don't leave people out. I fire back. Sometimes people have seen, like, you know, comments from me. I'll fire back at them and say something sarcastic rather than giving them the information that they're seeking. In every single circumstance where that happens, it's me firing back at somebody who's being a jerk or a jackass in the first place. If you come in swinging and throwing rocks and being sarcastic, I'm definitely not going to relinquish the information. If you come in demanding an answer to something, right, and you're being sarcastic and jackassy about it, yeah, then I'm not going to give it up, right? That's different. I just don't, I mean, who likes to be approached that way, right? That's not gatekeeping. That's just throwing the pie back in the face of the person who came in with a pie slinging machine, right? Just be nice. If somebody's looking for something, help them out, right? It's it doesn't make you better or more. There's no such thing as like an elite knife enthusiast, right? You know those guys who do that with music? That's not metal. That's not real metal. Everybody's got a friend like that. The metal guy who's like above, he's like a metal master level 100.
It's not real metal. You don't know. You've not listened to real metal. Shut up. Shut up, neckbeard. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Like, people who act like that, it means that is the most important thing to them. Their whole persona is based on that one thing. That's the one trophy they can hold up, right? Is that they feel like they know more about this one thing, that they can look down on other people who don't appreciate it, either know about it or appreciate it the way that they do, right? That just means that they got nothing else going on. And I think that's absolutely pathetic. I know that this episode is really a heavy haymaker, and I know it's going to land really hard for a lot of people, but seriously, it's the worst type of behavior. It's terrible. This channel will always be open to everybody, whether you've been around for a long time, right? You're a freaking level 99 wizard bushcrafter that's 30 years into the knife community, or you're just somebody who wandered off the street and saw a Kershaw at Walmart that looked kind of cool, and then you Googled knives and found my channel. You're both the same people to me. You're the same, right? It's not like I'm going to go and bend the knee to the level 99 bushcraft wizard, right? And, make the new guy kiss a glove. I'm not even going to wear it. I'm going to hold it. You've not ranked up, sir. You do not. You must be level 10 to get a handshake. No, that's silly. That's ridiculous. If you're a part of one of these weird little fringe groups, right? Or maybe you are that person, I would suggest that you stop, because it is, oh man, it's just ridiculous. Terrible, awful behavior. It makes you look dumb. Right? That's the hard truth of it. It just makes you look dumb. Every time I find out about something, especially when I hear that people are trying to keep it a secret because of some weird sense of elite, this or that, oh boy, I will blast it. I will sound the trumpets. Filthy casuals unite here under the Metal Complex YouTube channel. I will make sure that everybody knows. Okay, this was a fun one. Okay, that's going to be pretty much it. I know you guys have questions about some of the stuff out on the table. You're going to see unboxings for some of this stuff down the road. And rest assured, you will get links for when and where, right? Some of this stuff is hard to predict when it's going to drop, right? Like the camo stitch. It's like I talked about in a live stream or a recent Knife Guy episode. The way that people are getting things like that is by going to, this is actually what me and my buddy Taryn did to get this one. We went to the Microtech website and looked through their list of authorized retailers and found a whole bunch of retailers that are less heavily trafficked, right? Some people got mad at me for even revealing that secret as if it wasn't public information. It's public information! It's right there on a website that everybody can access. It shouldn't be a secret. Go to their list of authorized retailers and just look through it. Find the retailers that you've never heard of and look through their inventory. Sometimes you find stuff that we found this one. So that's how we found it, right? So, or actually, it was this one. This one we actually got on eKnives, but this one was on a weird retailer that I'd never heard of. But I say weird. It's just a retailer I'd not heard of, right? But yeah, that type of stuff, people should know about that, right? Shouldn't be secrets. Shouldn't be little weird little clubs, right? Little hoods and people, holding hands and around an ancient tome, right? No, absolutely not. That's going to be pretty much it today. It's 30 minutes of talking about this. Jeez. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe, because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.